Have you ever wished there was like a secret formula for connecting with people?
Yeah.
Whether it's nailing that job interview or making friends when you move to a new city, or even just clicking with someone special.
Yeah, definitely.
We all want to hit it off with people.
Right.
Well, today we're diving into some seriously cool stuff. Psychology tricks from history.
Mm.
It's like a cheat sheet for understanding how to build rapport with pretty much anyone.
Yeah, we're looking at this piece called How to Make Anyone Like You, Psychology Tricks from History.
Ooh.
And it's got all these historical examples of techniques people have been using for ages to build strong relationships. Some of them, they probably didn't even realize why they worked.
So our mission today is to pull out the most practical, historically backed strategies from this and give you some actual stuff you can use, like right away,
Hmm.
to become more likable and build stronger connections with people. And remember, this isn't about manipulation. We're talking about understanding how our minds work so we can have more genuine, more positive interactions.
For sure.
So let's jump right into our first trick, which is kind of a mind bender, the Ben Franklin effect.
All right, this one's interesting because it almost seems counterintuitive, you know?
Yeah.
The idea is that you can actually make someone like you more by asking them to do you a favor.
Wait, seriously.
Uh-huh.
I feel like that should be the opposite.
I know, right?
Like if I do something nice for you, you should like me more.
Exactly.
But the source gives this awesome story about Ben Franklin.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the 1700s, he had this rival in the Pennsylvania legislature. This guy just did not like him at all.
Okay.
But Franklin, being the clever guy he was, didn't try to win him over with compliments or anything like that. He did something totally unexpected. He asked to borrow a super rare and valuable book from this guy's personal library.
Hmm.
And the rival, maybe wanting to show off a little, actually lent him the book. Franklin gave it back right away, all grateful, and get this.
What happened?
Their relationship totally changed.
Wow.
They ended up becoming friends.
That's wild.
It's like, why would doing someone a favor make them like you more? I don't get it.
Well, it all comes down to our brains, you know?
Okay.
There's this concept called cognitive dissonance. Basically, it's when our actions and our beliefs don't line up. Our brains don't like that feeling of conflict.
Right.
So if someone does something nice for you, like lending a prized possession, their brain kind of has to justify it.
Oh, I see.
Like, why would I do something nice for this person if I didn't at least kind of like them?
Right.
It's their brain trying to make sense of their own behavior.
It's like their brain's convincing them, hey, I must not dislike this person as much as I thought if I'm doing them favors.
Exactly.
That's pretty crazy.
It is.
So what are some ways our listeners can use this?
Right.
We're not saying they should go around asking for huge favors from everyone they want to be friends with.
Definitely not. The key is to keep it small, keep it manageable.
Okay.
Think about simple things you could ask for.
Like what?
Hey, can I borrow your stapler for a sec? Would you mind taking a look at this and giving me your opinion?
Oh, that's a good one.
Even something like, could you help me reach that book on the top shelf?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Just small requests that let them put in a tiny bit of effort to help you.
Right. It's not about burdening them. It's about creating that little interaction where they do something for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of subtly starts to build that connection.
Exactly.
Okay, trick number 2. Mirror and match.
Oh.
This sounds like something straight out of a spy movie.
A little bit, right. But it's fascinating how much of how we communicate is actually nonverbal,
Yeah.
beneath the surface.
Right.
Back in the 1960s, psychologists were really starting to dig into this idea that we tend to like people who are similar to us.
Oh, interesting.
And one of the ways that similarity shows up is in our body language.
Ah.
The source mentions some really big names here, like John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr. Apparently, they were masters at subtly mirroring the body language and even the speech patterns of their audiences during their speeches.
Wow. To really connect with them.
Yeah. Think about it. When someone subtly reflects your posture, or maybe they do a gesture you just did, or even match the pace of your speech, it creates this unconscious sense of, hey, we're alike.
Right. It's like you're on the same wavelength, even if you don't realize it.
Exactly.
So for people listening, how can they actually do this without looking like they're mocking the other person?
Right. Subtlety is key.
Yeah.
You want to be like a shadow, not a parrot.
Okay, good analogy.
The trick is to observe and then subtly reflect some of their behaviors, but with a bit of a delay.
Okay.
So if they cross their legs, wait a little while before you do the same. If they speak slowly, try to match that rhythm in your own speech.
Yeah.
Just little things like that can create a subconscious sense of connection.
Got it. It's about being in sync without being a copycat.
Mm.
Okay, trick number 3, the power of specific compliments. I mean, we all love compliments, right?
Yeah, for sure. But what really makes a compliment stick, according to the source, is when it's genuine and specific.
Absolutely. And it gives this really cool example of Queen Elizabeth I in the 1500s. Instead of just telling her court, good job, or you're loyal, she would give these really specific, meaningful compliments.
Oh.
Ones that showed she really saw and appreciated what each person brought to the table.
That makes sense. Like a general, you're great, just doesn't have the same impact.
Not at all. Something specific shows you've really paid attention.
So psychologically, why are specific compliments so much more effective?
Well, because they feel so much more authentic.
Yeah.
It shows that you've actually observed something positive about the person or what they did.
Oh.
They feel genuinely seen and appreciated, not just like they're getting some generic flattery that you could say to anyone.
So instead of saying, good job, you could say something like, I was really impressed with how you handled that tough question in the meeting. You stayed calm and explained everything so clearly. Perfect example. That second compliment has way more impact because it highlights a specific action,
Right.
and it acknowledges the effort and skill behind it.
Yeah. It's genuine, and it makes them feel good.
Exactly. And remember, it has to be sincere.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
People can totally tell when you're being fake, and that can actually hurt your connection with them.
All right, trick number 4, the name effect. This one seems kind of obvious, but it's apparently really powerful.
It is. The source mentions Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, which has been a bestseller for decades.
Oh, yeah, classic.
And it stresses how important it is to use people's names.
Okay.
And even historical figures like Franklin D. Roosevelt were known for making a point of remembering and using people's names to make them feel valued.
So what's going on in our brains when we hear our own name? Why does it have such a positive effect?
Psychologically, our name is super tied to our sense of identity and self-worth. When we hear it, it triggers all these positive responses in our brain. It makes us feel seen and valued as an individual.
Ah, I see. So the takeaway here is to just use someone's name when you're talking to them.
Pretty much. The source gives an example. Hey, Sarah, that's a great idea. Simple, but it can make a difference.
Yeah, really.
It can,
What?
but there's a nuance here.
Sure.
You want to use their name naturally in the conversation. Overdoing it can backfire.
Oh, yeah. Like you're trying too hard.
Exactly. Find that balance where you use their name enough to make them feel acknowledged, but not so much that it sounds forced.
Okay, good point. And finally, trick number 5, share secrets gradually.
All right.
It sounds like a way to really build deep connections with people.
It is. The idea is that when you gradually share personal information with someone and they do the same with you, it builds trust and closeness.
Oh, that makes sense.
The source even mentions how spies during the Cold War used this.
Wow, really?
They called it reciprocal disclosure. They used it to build trust with their contacts in really high-stakes situations.
Oh, that's intense. But I guess it really shows how powerful vulnerability can be in building relationships.
It does. And so why does this gradual sharing work so well? Well, when you share something personal, you're basically saying, I trust you enough to let you in. And that usually makes the other person want to share something back,
So it builds that back and forth.
Exactly. It creates a sense of mutual vulnerability and strengthens the bond between you. But the gradually part is key.
Right, yeah. You don't want to overwhelm them with your whole life story right away.
Exactly. You wouldn't just walk up to someone you just met and tell them your deepest secrets.
No, for sure.
The source suggests starting with lighter things, maybe your favorite movie or a funny story. And then as the relationship grows, you can gradually share more personal things.
That makes sense, like building a foundation of trust. So just to recap the 5 tricks from history we've talked about today. The Ben Franklin effect, ask for small favors. Mirror and match, subtly reflecting someone's behavior.
Right.
The power of specific compliments.
Okay.
The name effect, use their name in conversation.
Yep.
And finally, sharing secrets gradually to build trust.
Very good.
And remember, these aren't about manipulation. It's really about understanding how our minds work so we can build more genuine, positive connections.
Absolutely.
So for everyone listening, think about which of these techniques really speaks to you.
Yeah.
Which one feels like something you could actually start using, maybe even today.
Mm-hmm.
It could be as simple as making an effort to remember and use people's names more.
Right.
Or maybe you'll find a chance to ask for a small favor and see the Ben Franklin effect in action.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you think about how these small actions, these little psychological tricks, can have such a big impact on your relationships, both personal and professional.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes you wonder, what other subtle things are going on in our interactions, influencing how we connect with each other beyond even these 5 tricks that we've talked about today?
It's pretty mind-blowing.
It is.